Welcome to our very first lesson as we kick off creating your incredible digital product and digital offer magic of all kinds. And in this lesson, we are going to be looking at your funnel and overall business technology choice. So, to build a robust online business, you need really, really great platforms. Honestly, your platform empowers so much. It empowers your customer experience, your efficiencies, and your literal outcomes. So let's dive in and look at how you can make sure you have the right type of tech to create these incredible outcomes. Now, I do want to start off by saying that with the wrong tech, it is like trying to win a horse race with a donkey. You can do all the right training, you can have all the right gear, you can get to the events, you can do everything you can, but at the end of the day, it is just not up to standard. And that is no offense to donkeys, they're amazing creatures with their own purpose, but it's not going to win you a horse race, or AKA, technology not built for scalable businesses is really going to hinder you when you are trying to get seen, loved, and selling in the way we specifically do when we are trying to scale online. So essentially what I mean by that is that there are going to be hundreds to, if not thousands, of transactions per week, per month, per year. You're going to have hundreds, if not thousands, of customers in a system. You are going to create oodles of digital products, and in each of these offers or digital products, you're going to need and want them to do different things. And as you go through, we're going to talk about some of those things that you may need or want as well. But essentially, you want the types of platforms that are going to support this, that are custom made for this. Now, I will say that with that, when you are buying things or investing in things that can manage hundreds to thousands of transactions, hold hundreds to thousands of customers, that can allow you to create lots of different digital offers with lots of different elements that go in to create actual outcomes, the best experiences that go on to make you money, reduce refund requests, improve and increase word of mouth to truly make you, happy profit with so much ease. There is a cost to that. And while I wish that there wasn't, and I wish that the tech that we often use was a little bit cheaper, you will often find that this gold standard tech, this really empowering tech, can seem a little bit expensive. But what you have to realize is that it's not an expense, it's an investment. Because truly, I see people whose businesses are held back because they are not investing into the right tech. They are having all types of trouble. The minute they pay the $100 or $200 extra a month, their business really like tenfold within the next few months because of these capacities. Now, I'm not saying that buying great tech is necessarily your pathway to success, because it still comes down to your marketing and your offers and you, but tech is certainly a huge part of it. Now, also, most importantly, is that your tech is actually the first impression your audience has. It is their first experience with you, likely, and it needs to be the best it can be, as it will determine whether it's the first of many or the first of last. And what I mean by that is that, sure, you could, for example, at the beginning of your funnel, create an ebook, and you could have that ebook just in a Google Drive link, and you could just use your Gmail account to send that out to people manually. Like, that is literally a way to deliver a digital product to someone. But is that going to be as seamless as somebody else in your industry who has a beautiful checkout, then they go to a thank you page that says congratulations, it's instantly being sent to you, that email looks very nice, they click on a link to log into a members area, the ebook is there with like a welcome video to guide them, it's all in your brand, they can go back there to download it at any time, and it just looks amazing. And then when they're in that area, they can also see that you've got a store with other products in there, etc., etc. So I will not say that delivering an ebook via a Google Drive is like the end of your business. You can absolutely get scrappy in your business. And my first sales page was a PDF that I sent to people via email. So like, trust me, I have been scrappy. It is also why I know on the other side of that, even personally, what good funnel tech does in your business and how this can empower you. So what the heck is funnel technology versus the normal technology that our businesses just might need or have already? So at each stage of your funnel, now remember, if we think of a funnel, think about your customer journey as a whole. So we've got all of these little touch points for our better business feel, for our low ticket digital offer funnel. That's a funnel in itself. Then we funnel people into one offer. We funnel them into the next offer. We might funnel them to a downsell. We might funnel them up to an upsell. So we can see that as we look at our value ladder, our better business offer, and then into our value ladder, we have all of these little things where people move and they can go in different directions, and we call that a funnel, right? And there's lots of different pieces of stuff that can happen in there. So every offer, all your offers, you're going to need different things to be able to sell and make this customer journey as automated and smooth and as much as an excellent experience as possible. And these are the different things that you're going to need as part of this funnel. So first things first is you're going to need sales pages. So for example, you're going to run ads from Meta if you have a low ticket digital product and it needs to land somewhere. And that thing is a sales page. And when people land on that sales page, you're going to want some analytics around that. And a lot of sales page platforms have them built in, or you can add something like Google Analytics. So that's what we're going to need. We're then going to need a checkout. And this checkout needs to be a special type of checkout that has an order bump and funnel technology. Now that means that once someone's purchased, can you send them somewhere else within this checkout? And there are some very specific checkouts that are made for this, but it's a little bit different than just setting up like a Stripe link that you might send people. That is not funnel checkout technology. We really want to make sure our checkout works as a funnel. We then are going to need email, but we're going to need a little bit more sophisticated email than essentially something that, just might be the Gmail account that we use. We need this to be able to respond to people's actions. So if they come in and they have purchased a product from you and you need to send out the link to get to that product, then your checkout needs to speak to your email and the email needs to trigger that out. But you might need an email that also has some other special things built in that says 10 days after someone bought this digital product, start this email sequence if they don't already own XYZ product. Because what might happen is that in your low ticket digital offer, you might say to them, the next step for you is the Content Mastery Club. Go on inside. And if they haven't purchased that after 10 days, you want to give them a little email nudge to do that, but you don't want to give them that email nudge if they've already gone and bought that. So your email also needs to speak to whatever your course platform or hosting platform is to see if someone has this product, or speak with your checkout that might be a CRM to see if they've bought that. Which brings me to the next piece, which is our delivery and our members area. You need a delivery and members area. It's all well and good, maybe at the start, to send out that Google Doc link or whatever it might be to somebody. But as your programs get more robust, we have those dynamic elements to it. We want to create customer journeys, success pathways. We want really dynamic members areas that lighten the load for us and not create work for us, that people can navigate around with ease. So you can have 500 people in a membership, and the membership platform itself is actually intuitive and dynamic, so people can move around it without needing to ask you a lot of questions, increasing your workload, right? We really want to make sure this area does what we need. And more so, we also want to look at our value ladders and ask ourselves, what might we need over time? So for example, if I'm looking at this and I think right now my first offer is going to be a membership, there's amazing membership platforms out there like School and this and that, right? But then the next thing in your value ladder might actually be a completely passive product that you need to drip feed to someone. We're going to cover drip feeding in courses, but you might decide that you want to drip your course out, and then you think that platform doesn't have this. And so then you might need a second platform, and you're like, hang on now, people have to use this platform and that platform if they're both part of both my offers, and that's not really working for me. So you really want to make sure that you have a delivery or members area that can serve your whole value ladder, your whole digital business. You then want something likely that you can track and manage people, often called a CRM as well. And so you want to see like this person has this offers and they started it on this date and they're on this type of payment plan and they've paid this many of those payments. And I can also see they received this email and yada, yada, yada. So we want a customer relationship manager. And you might also want a store. So it's not a necessity, but if you're like me and you have like a lot of lower ticket products in your value ladder, you might want to put those in a storefront to be able to offer it to people that way. And then you're going to need something that can accommodate your people and profit pathway considerations. So you're keeping an eye out for those at the moment, remember from our first training, but essentially you might be starting to think, maybe one of your offers will have a masterclass. Maybe there'll be a private podcast. Maybe you want to do a challenge. Maybe you don't need any of that at all. You just need emails sent out. You want to make sure you have the technology in your business to be able to do that. So these are really the main types of elements that an online business is going to need to do that online business. And so there's two different ways to approach this to get those things. There's the first way, which is called a technology stack or a tech stack. You might have heard it like referred to, and sometimes people in the industry say, what's your tech stack and things like that. So welcome to that term if you've never heard it. But essentially it might be where we just have different pieces that all speak to each other that can do different things. So your sales page might be on like leadpages.com, and then the checkout might be Thrivecart, and it might be connected to like ActiveCampaign email. And then you might in here use, some type of membership software or course platform software in here. Like maybe it is Thrivecart Learn that you're using. And then you might have a store. You might connect like Shopify, and then you might have people in profit pathways. So you might use, if you have a masterclass, you might use something like EverWebinar or something like that. And essentially what you want to be doing is making sure each of these pieces do the job that you need it to, and that each of these pieces speak perfectly to each other. Because remember that once someone's checked out, you might need to send them an email. You also need to send them access to this area. You might only want to send people emails if they have or haven't done 50% of this program. So you want these things to speak to each other. You really want them all working together or be able to connect them together. So this is definitely an option for you, and we're going to go deeper into it. But the other option is an all-in-one online platform where essentially one person took it upon themselves to make sure a platform had all of these things that you might need. And this is certainly what I will just come straight out and say that I recommend to you for an online business, is finding an all-in-one. Now, there are actually little all-in-one platforms at the moment. Hopefully, as the creator economy continues growing, even more will come about. But my number one recommendation is Kajabi. So if you're just like, Karina, tell me what tech platform to use, it is going to be Kajabi, hands down. It is what I use, I love. I cannot say enough good things about it. I will be clear that I am a partner for them, but the reason I am a partner is because I speak about them so damn much and recommend them to so many people because I love them, that I thought, well, I may as well get paid for it and put that money back into my programs since I'm already harping on about it. So I know that sometimes people can recommend things just because there's an affiliate program attached to it. I am just part of an affiliate program because I loved Kajabi so much. I was already talking about it 24/7. And so Kajabi has absolutely changed my business. I always joke that if I had a child, Kajabi would be its middle or first name. I haven't decided yet, but that is literally how much Kajabi has changed my business. I do really accredit it to be the horse that helped me win the horse race, if that makes sense. And so in this module, I'm going to go through different ways that you can run your business and go through the options. So we're going to go through the piece by piece, and then we're going to go through some more all-in-ones. But I just want to say right now at the very top of this lesson, if you're like, I'm not doing this step by step, I'm not tying this stuff together, I just need an all-in-one, give it to me, it is Kajabi. And as you go through the school, you'll also see some special bonuses for Kajabi just because I, as the mentor, use Kajabi, I'm able to go even further into tech. So you can have a special promotion to try Kajabi if you want to. You don't even have to use my affiliate link. That's absolutely fine, but there is an extended trial. Then a look behind the scenes in my own Kajabi as well. So you can actually see what it looks like when it is up and running in full. So you can find that in the bonus section. But let's dive in and have a look at what your options are and some of the things that I recommend piece by piece. So If you are going to deliver or build this piece by piece into a tech stack, the first thing you're going to need is your sales page builder and analytics. So there's some different options for this, but you can have a landing page built on your email service provider. So some email service providers actually do allow you to create landing pages or sales pages. You can have a landing page built on a website that you already have. Like if you already have WordPress, you could build the landing page there, and then once you have a checkout, the button could go to that specific checkout provider. Or you can use a specific landing page software like Leadpages, right? And you'll find that some of these sales page builders even have checkouts in them. So for example, at the time of filming this, Leadpages has Pro built into it, but it doesn't integrate with PayPal, which is a bit of a bummer. So I'm not saying at the time that you're watching this that Leadpages is still going to have Pro and not have PayPal. I'm showing you this as an example for the things that you actually want to go through and look at and be like, oh, maybe I can combine a few of these pieces together. Like, can I build a landing page on my email service provider? That's going to reduce the amount of connections I need to do. Or does a sales page person have a checkout, and does that checkout have the pieces that I need? Does it have funnel tech? Does it integrate with like the places that I want to collect money, like Stripe or PayPal or things like this? So what you are not looking for when you're picking a sales page builder is a product page. We are not looking for a Shopify type page where it's like an image, pick your sizes, and a tiny little piece of text. We're looking for something that has a top to bottom conversation. So you specifically want to look for something that creates sales pages. And a sales page is often long form, and it's going to have no menu up the top. So if you are looking out there, check if your email provider, if your website can help you build sales pages, or look for sales page specific technology. Now, the next thing that you're going to need is a checkout, and you're going to need a checkout with funnel-specific technology that can do bumps, OTOs, retain payment details for current customers. That one's optional, but these are the types of things you want to start looking at, since you're going to have lots and lots of return customers over and over again. And Thrivecart for a standalone checkout is the number one that I would recommend. It is the leader by far in this space. They have some like incredible elements in it, and it's like at the time of filming this, it's a one-time payment, so you just pay for it and have it for life. And that can be used on most platforms. So for example, you can connect most email providers, most websites, all of those things to Thrivecart. Then there is something called Cartflow, and this is only going to work if your sales page or website is on WordPress. So I did want to give you those options, but really the checkout option is going to be Thrivecart. Then you want to make sure that you have email. Now, whatever email you choose, you need to make sure it integrates with your checkout, and then potentially with your like members area, relationship manager, things like that. So there's MailerLite. That is very, very, very basic and not going to do a lot for you. There is ConvertKit, which has recently been branded or rebranded to Kit. And then there is ActiveCampaign. So it's an incredibly advanced system, but absolutely worth learning if you have a really robust value ladder. If you're like, I need you to do this, but only if this happens, and only if the person lives here, and only if their name starts with B, and only at this time of the year, and only if they tick this box, like ActiveCampaign can do that. ConvertKit is kind of like, please send an email to this person if they have this and don't have this on this date. And then MailerLite is like, please send this email to this person. And so they're kind of like the differences in what these systems can do. These are just some suggestions. You can look at absolutely any email provider that, again, has like advanced automations and can tie into your checkout and to your CRM. But these are some of the ones that you do want to start with. And then you're going to want some kind of members area. So there is Thrivecart Learn. Now, Thrivecart Learn is essentially something that you can add on when you buy Thrivecart. And this is really helpful because Thrivecart can then talk to Thrivecart Learn directly. So then you kind of just need a sales page, Thrivecart connected. Thrivecart needs to be connected to an email to send emails out to the person, but then Thrivecart's going to talk directly to Thrivecart Learn at the one time. Now, there are mixed reports about Thrivecart and Thrivecart Learn from the people that I talk to. Some people hate it, some people love it, but overall, I do think that it does the job. The reason why people normally hate it is because of the way that it actually looks. It's not very visually pleasing at the time of recording this, but go and look into it for yourself. Then there is things like Member Vault, remembering that you need to take in your overall value ladder. So when I'm talking about these things, some of these things only do memberships. They're only going to be right for you if you're only doing memberships. Some of these things only do courses, or are really only good for courses, and their membership or community areas suck, right? So you really, really want to go through and look at your value ladder and then look at these to see what might help you. So there's Teachable. Now, again, some of these things have other elements. So Teachable has like a page builder and it has a cart with some funnel ability, but some of these platforms also do like not very good things like take part of your revenue. So Kajabi, for example, I just pay a monthly fee and my revenue is mine. But some of these other options are going to take 5-10% of your revenue. If you're making $100,000 a month, that is a lot of money to be losing, to be paying a platform to host, when I pay $300 a month to Kajabi on the highest plan and keep all my revenue. Some of these also are going to tax your customers for you, which isn't a good thing. I know it might sound like a good thing, but it's not. So you might, for example, not have tax requirements in a certain country because you haven't crossed a threshold, and you need to look into taxes in your business. That's not something that I can teach you about, but essentially you, in some places in the world, don't have to pay tax until you reach a certain threshold. Now, because these platforms are set up as marketplaces, the sum of all the revenue that they bring into that platform as a whole actually means that they have reached that tax threshold already. So they have to add tax on top of your products, and taxes on top of products are known to reduce conversion. And you can't control that, even though you're saying to them, but hey, I haven't reached, tax requirements in that country. Why are you charging my customers tax? It's because they're a marketplace. They're basically like you're part of their entity. Whereas something like Kajabi, they're not a marketplace. You're not part of their entity. You are paying them to host your own unique entity on there. So really be careful, and when you're looking into these platforms, ask or look for, are they going to take profit, and are they going to tax you or tax your customers for you? Now, there's something different in Kajabi called Kajabi Tax and Kajabi Payments, which is where if you are required to charge your customers tax, you can set that up in the Kajabi system, for example. That's different to somebody mandatorily charging your customers tax when you actually don't necessarily have a tax requirement to do that. So just look into that. But there's Teachable, there's LearnDash, which is for WordPress only, depending on what sales page builder you have. There's School, which is like, I think it's fantastic, but it is really limited in what type of things that you can at the moment post on there. So keep an eye on that one. If you are going to do single type of like value ladder memberships, it might be for you, but if you're wanting other things, it might not be right for you. Then there's Thinkific, which is, it has a page builder, but the cart at the time of filming this isn't right for funnels. So again, you might be watching this in a week's time and they've changed their cart and now it is ideal for funnels. But this is really just telling you to look out for these things. Mighty Networks, there's Samcart, which has checkout, landing page, and an LMS, but you need a top tier subscription for all of this. So this is like an LMS is a learning management system. So again, something that, can actually deliver track manager members. But again, it's not quite an all-in-one, but it's a little bit closer. Their top tier of subscription, though, is like pretty costly for just one or two pieces of what's in your funnel. And then there's the Thrive Themes, so that 3 times fast. So you can go and have a look at any of those. And then you're going to need potentially a store. So you can build this on your website if needed with a checkout system attached to that. Or you could use something like Shopify or Shopify Lite and attach that as well. And then we need other value ladder considerations. So things you might want to consider is like your ongoing email marketing. So sure, like one of the platforms might be able to send an email out that gives access to the product, but can you also then do launch emails through that to your whole community? Can you list build on it, things like that? Look at what automated email marketing and triggering sequences you might need. Now, you might not know a lot right now, but as your business develops, you might start to recognize that you might need more advanced things, and maybe you want to move email platforms. You want to look at, a members area for all of your services and offers. So go back to your value ladder and consider what you might sell in the future. So sure, your first offer might be a membership and School might look great, but is that going to help you down the track? And then look at your full customer lifetime view as well. So what things might like they want to do on the platform? Might they want to cancel their payments, reinstall their payments, add something to their library, add something to their members area? Does it allow all of that? Can you do things like refunds, email requests, changes in details pretty easily in the back end? So for example, like, trying to use Stripe to change someone's address can be a nightmare sometimes, but changing it in Kajabi can be really easy. And so just use these platforms to see like how easy it is, and then take into consideration your people and profit pathways. So like, I know in my value ladder, one of the things I want to be exploring eventually, and we'll see if it works or not, and I'll report back here in a podcast episode, is a private podcast as well. And I know that Kajabi has the ability to host a podcast on it, private or public. And so for me, I'm like, tick, right? And so you just start to think about these things like, is it going to help you with any of these things? Like, you might be Samcart, and maybe Samcart all of a sudden starts having a podcast ability on there, and you're like, great, that's another reason to lean into Samcart. So just think about those things. So outside that, and tying all of these together, and side note, you can also tie some of these together with something called Zapier, which is like, just let's say your Thrivecart checkout doesn't talk to your preferred email provider. You can put Zapier in the middle. Zapier talks to Thrivecart. They talk to your email provider. So it's like the bridge between them, even though they won't talk to each other. But there is a cost associated with that. Every Zap costs you money. So it's an extra cost on your business, but that can happen. But of course, if you don't want to be doing that, you really want to look for an all-in-one that has all of these things included. So the number one is absolutely Kajabi. There's a 30-day free trial. Just get in and have a go, have a look at it. There's actually a really, over time, Kajabi's become more and more affordable. So go and have a look at that and just test it out and see if you love it. And then there are some other all-in-one systems, but they are lower rated. Kajabi is the gold standard. So there is System.io. Now, I do have to say that this is a pretty good platform for its price point, but at the time of recording this, it is not without its issues. There's been massive issues with people installing their Meta Pixel on it, which is a very, very important part of having an online business that is fueled or, enabled by ads as well. And there have been potential blacklists as well. So like, if you use their actual domain handle instead of one of your own, it has been known for triggering spam on Facebook and things like that. There's Thrivecart and Thrivecart Learn. They're still going to need email and sales pages, but it is a pretty good all-in-one-ish type option. They do have a lot of stuff that goes on in there with some good analytics in the background. So it's not quite an all-in-one, but if you were looking for pieces of the puzzle that fit well together, that would be one of them. And then you just add the fringe stuff around the outside. And then there's ClickFunnels. There's also things called like Go High Level and this and that. So like, jump online and start Googling like all-in-one course platforms. You can start to see other things that come up, but these are just the ones that I wanted to make mention of. System, I've had clients use it with like Success. They've hired developers to help them put their pixel on, but once that's happened, tick, it's been great for them. Thrivecart and Thrivecart Learn has been amazing for clients. They've just added like email and websites. Then ClickFunnels has been great for people. They just find it very masculine. And so like, if that's not your thing, you can get on and test it. But if you don't want your business to look and feel that way, it might not be for you. But these are the 4 that like my clients through lived experience have had the most success with. That's not to say some others don't exist. Again, like Go High Level, go and actually search for like all-in-one course platform. You'll find other things. It's just that I don't have lived experience with clients loving them or having success on them at this point in time. So I just ethically can't recommend them. All of this other stuff I've either worked with myself or had people work with or had experience with, and can say like, these all are ethical, fair platforms as far as I know from my experience. So how the heck do you choose if you're still here wondering how to make the decision? Well, essentially, are you tech savvy is the first question first and foremost. If yes, both options 1 or 2 could work for you. If no, please do not go the piece by piece method. Please go option 2 and look for as much of an all-in-one that you can get. I cannot stress that enough. The second thing is look at the total cost. I've had people like look at Kajabi before, and they've got a plan at the moment that's under $100 a month, and people are like, oh, that's pretty expensive. I think I'm going to go and build these other things. And then that's come out to like $150 a month to build them separately. So actually look, you might think, oh, this is only $29 and then this is only $50 and this is only $30 and the Zaps are only $10 a month, but you might all of a sudden be paying more than an all-in-one anyway. And then is this your entire business that you're going to be running? Like if you're doing this program just because you want to put one low ticket digital product in place, and the rest of your business is already running on systems, sure, maybe you don't want something like Kajabi. Maybe you're literally only going to be using it to house a digital product, and you might be better off housing one of those other, like using one of those other things. And then do you only have a few things already in your business? So maybe let's say you've got a website and email, but you don't have anything else. You don't have a card, you don't have this, you don't have a learning management system, you don't have blah, blah, and blah. Then again, maybe an all-in-one would be best for you and you can move those things over. So to determine which option 2, all-in-one, is best for you, if that's what you want to go, you have a list in your members workbook as well that you can go through and have a look at to help you vet some of those. They are quite big, robust systems, so there's a bit of a checklist in there for you to help you as well. So over to you, it is time for you to go and lock in your tech. Option 1 or 2 if you are tech savvy. Option 1 if you really want to tie stuff together, maybe you already have a bit of stuff in your business and you're just looking for a few extra pieces. Option 2 if you are not tech savvy at all, or you just literally want your business to be as effective, efficient as possible by keeping as much as you can under the one roof. And remember, when you're looking at these things, that you not win a horse race with a donkey. So make sure whatever you do, you are empowering and enabling your business, remembering that tech has a cost, but it is a true investment to your success and your sanity in the long run as well. And then make your decision and move forward from there, knowing that you can change tech platforms as well. Sometimes it's a little bit more to manage if you are, for example, moving members from one place to another, but it is absolutely doable. The biggest online businesses in the absolute world have moved their members from one platform to the other, and it has absolutely gone fine for them, if not just with a little extra work required. So make a decision for where you are now, for where you want to be in the future with your value ladder, and then know that things are still flexible, so don't let it freeze you.